So Jaden, over to you.
Okay. Hello, my name's Jaden Patton. I live in Birmingham and I'm 25. I got into the DigiSed program after university because due to some problems with my eyesight, I wasn't able to finish my degree. I I was in a retail job, but I always wanted to get back into IT. And then I met Alex at a careers fair with my dad. And the thing that really attracted me to the digital course was that it gave you a wide range of skills you could look at. So I could then decide on what career path exactly I would want to get back into. Because while I did coding at university, I was unsure about whether I'd want to continue doing that or move on to a different path. And and I thought, oh, if I can look at multiple different things during the employability course, then I can have a firm decision about where I want to go. So as Alex said, we started in Capgemini and we were given a number of different uh, sorry, a number of different skills that to use, and a number of different lessons. And even going through them, I was able to recognize the skills that I'd learnt in university, and it was more of a catch up and a refresh for me. And then after that, we had the sector ready studios in Millennium Point, which was able to put actually apply the skills. And even though it was cut short by the lockdown, we were still able to keep in contact via Zoom. So we were still able to continue the course. And it was actually during the lockdown in which we were able to meet companies in terms of getting a job. And it was through DigiSays that I was able to meet Methods, which I have my current job at the moment, which is a junior ServiceNow developer. So the DigiSays course has just really helped me stop hesitating in the retail job I was in before, and relearn the skills that I needed to move forward and get the current job. And I'm looking forward to progressing in my career and just gaining new skills.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Jaden. That sounds really, really interesting. I'm glad that you have managed to have the experience and get yourself through to your role at Methods. Yeah, we know the team at Methods, so that's absolutely fantastic. It's, hats off to you for putting in the hard work, and hats off to them for being able to spot such young talents. So it's great stuff. Okay, thank you so much, Jaden. We're going to move on to the next DigiSheds representative now, which is Jake Wilkins. So I'll pass over to Jake.
Hi there, yeah, my name's Jack Wilkins and I also live in Birmingham. I've just recently moved to the city centre thanks to what's happened, but the part of the DigiSheds training program, when I started that, prior to that, I actually left college back in May last year, and I didn't want to go down the traditional route of university. I wanted to do an apprenticeship, so I was looking for a software development apprenticeship for 7 months, and unfortunately I wasn't actually hearing from anyone, and it was quite scary. So I was unemployed and I wasn't doing anything for like almost a year, and yeah, I didn't know what to do. So out of panic, I went to the job centre to apply for universal credit and also look for a job in the meantime, whilst I was also still on the hunt for an apprenticeship. Unfortunately, I still wasn't finding any luck, and then one day I met Alex and Kate, who are the main people who work at the DigiSheds. And when they introduced me to the program, I was a bit skeptical at the start, but I still had an open mind, and I joined it, and it was the best decision of my life, because not only did it introduce me to do skills that I didn't even know I had, it also gave me that confidence, which I think attracted some companies. I think that was what drove the companies to me. So I'm very grateful for that. And yeah, as Jaden said, during lockdown, we was nearing the end of our course, and we had our interviews with the companies. And by the end of it, I had at the end 3 companies after us, but unfortunately they wanted us in like London areas. But luckily Methods came along and they were like, well, we want remote workers. So I joined Methods alongside Jaden as a junior ServiceNow system administrator. And yeah, it's changed my life completely. I now live in the city centre with my partner. Just moved 4 months ago, and yeah, I'm very happy with what's going on in my life. I feel a lot better.
Excellent. Thank you, Jake. That's really, really interesting. And I'm again just really glad that you you know, got this opportunity, and
Yeah.
you ended up with a good role at Methods as well. So fantastic. And you moved during lockdown as well. So you must be crazy.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you so much. So let's open up to some Q&A now. So if Jaden, Jake and Alex can be on hand, we've had a few questions that have come through the chat. So I'm going to throw a few of these out to you. So first of all, one of the questions is, what skills do you need to do what you're doing now? And what do you hope to do in the future? Should we put this
to one of you guys?
To Jaden. Jaden, do you want to go first?
Well, the main skills that you need for my job is experience with the ServiceNow platform. And one of the things that Digi said was able to do was to allow us to take the ServiceNow fundamentals course, and that really helped during the interviews, because they could see that I had a previous experience with the platform, and that I was actually really interested in learning it outside and going above and beyond. So I really feel like Dizzy has given me the opportunity to go on that course and learn those skills. Gave me an edge that I wouldn't have had before.
Excellent. And now that you're kind of on this road to this amazing IT career, where do you kind of see yourself going in the future? Do you have a direction of travel? Is there like an end game or a middle game that you're kind of looking at the moment?
At the moment, I'm in the junior role, but I'll move from there to senior software ServiceNow developer, and then technical architect is my far off goal. And I'm just learning different skills such as like project management and the overall software development process, and methods are helping me with that. As part of that, I've recently started a degree apprenticeship just to increase my skills even further. So I've just been happy for like the opportunities that I've been able to get.
Excellent. That's great. Brilliant.
I think so. So just to drop in there quickly. So Jaden, I think, is being a little bit shy, but because I have to say that the idea of him going above and beyond, he was actually mentored by ServiceNow, one of their chief architects. So he was somebody that they recognized that really did have a passion for their platform. They engaged with him directly. He was supported. Both Jake and Jaden were, but I think Jaden really did a lot of the work on his own time. So I think that the answer to that question is really, you do need that passion, that motivation, that mindset. And he's had the reward. He's then been invited into this degree apprenticeship by ServiceNow.
Brilliant. Excellent stuff. Well done, Jaden. Jake, should we pop a similar question to you? So what skill sets do you need to be doing what you're doing now?
Well, yeah, as Jaden said, you just need the passion and drive to know it, and also a bit of experience in service. Now, otherwise you're not going to know what you're doing. But with any job, you don't. Alex taught me this actually. You can go into a job and not know a single thing about it, but if you've got the passion and the determination to actually get good at the job that you want to know, that you're applying for, then there's a good chance that they will just take you on and train you happily, because it's not, at the end of the day, it's not always just about the skills. It's more about the passion you have towards that company or that job that you're after. So yeah, you don't really need skills, or to a certain level you don't, but yeah, you just need that passion at the end of the day.
Excellent. And so specifically to you, Jake, what put you off the traditional training route? What did that route? What did this route offer you that route didn't? Or
Well, see, the two things mainly. Well, for uni, I was quite intimidated by the fact that you had to pay a large sum of money, and having to pay it off during that time, your time, and like during work. So I didn't like that idea. But also because I was just I'm not very good at when it comes to. I'm very impatient, actually. That's the word. When it comes to learning, I like to learn and also do things at the same time. So work allows you to do that, and well, an apprenticeship allows you to do that, because not only are you learning, you're actually applying that with the work that you're learning at the same time. So yeah, it was just a matter of impatience, really, that led me to want to do an apprenticeship instead of a degree.
okay, thank you. So another question to both of you is, what would you say to encourage young people who are trying to enter the same job market at this time?
I'd say, well, I'd say just don't stop trying. I know it looks like there's not a lot of opportunities at the moment due to the pandemic, but there's still a lot of companies after people, even now. Like we at Methods, we've just hired loads of people for things that we've got loads of job opportunities there because of the amount of work that's been required. And I'm sure it's the same for a lot of companies. You just have to find the right places to look, and definitely DigiSheds is one of the places that lead you into the right directions if you are willing to learn.
Excellent. And Jaden, over to you.
I would definitely say don't hesitate and take any opportunity that's given to you, because I feel like before I went on a DigiSet program, one of my biggest problems is that I would always be uh, holding myself back and hesitating because I didn't know if I'd be able to do this particular thing or not. And it's only once you like put yourself out there and take the opportunities that have been given to you that you realize that you can actually do it, and you can get quite a lot of things out of it, and move forward quite a lot.
Excellent. Great. A word of advice actually rather than a question from Carl Nicholson, which is, don't forget to stay platform agnostic. Don't fall into the vendor trap. So I'll lend you. I'll leave you both on that note. But thank you so much. That's really interesting to hear your guys' journey, and I wish you everybody on this call wishes you the absolute best of luck with your career. So keep going. I'm going to move over now to Mick, who's going to introduce Digital Innovators and their range of programs. They've got a couple of things going on. So Mick, are you out there? Let's just pull up his.
I'm indeed here.
You are indeed.
I'm out here in the east.
Excellent. I feel like I have to do your intro justice. So let's do your little intro slides as well, shall we? Just to be proper. Bear with me 1 second. Here we go. So this is your lovely lot.
Seamless that was, Ian. Absolutely seamless.
Absolutely seamless. Do you know the really annoying thing about Zoom is this little bar pops up at the bottom, just covering the place where you want to put on the full presentation, so that it's slightly annoying, but we're there. So Digital Innovators. Mick is going to give you an introduction, but we're very much super happy to introduce 4 of their representatives, which is Sharan, Mohammed, Kobe, and Unati. So I will pass you over to Mick.
Thanks, Ian. Sounds like might benefit from digital training yourself there. Do you want us to send somebody over?
I think that might be beneficial. Sign me up.
Brilliant. Listen, I don't want to take too much time. So for Digital Innovators, being digital is more than coding. It's about solving problems using digital tools. And we found that taking too narrow a focus can put people off, particularly girls. Anyway, Saying that, we're all facing quite significant challenges this year as a result of COVID, and now more than ever, we're seeing why being digital is important. And I personally believe that the recent events have accelerated the need for such skills across the area of the economy. And it's going to require us an army of suitably skilled and competent people to support businesses get through this, this period. At Digital Innovators, we recognise that there are many learners with the ability to have successful careers in digital, and that they need to have the core competencies of collaboration and problem solving and creativity, underpinned by great attitude, aptitude and ambition. And what they may lack in technical qualifications or confidence and self-belief, they can apply for themselves. Equally, we understand that there are many employers that need people with digital skills to support, transform and grow their businesses, but who do not themselves have digital skills or the time or bandwidth to find and train them. Digital Innovators, therefore, provides a collaborative, blended learning solution working with local employers that provides project-based development opportunities. These opportunities capitalise on our learners' unique strengths and capabilities to deliver a digital solution for an employer at little or no cost. In doing this, we enable employers to understand the difference digital can make to their business, whilst at the same time giving a young person the opportunity to further develop and hone their skills. The benefit of this approach is that we are creating work-ready employees with both the skills needed to be successful in business, as well as the innate ability to use digital tools and techniques in the workplace. It's not unusual for employers to ask if they're able to offer the students full-time employment, such as an apprenticeship after completing their projects. And you'll not be surprised to hear that this is our ultimate goal. If you're a supplier of digital tools, we would also love to hear from you, as we're looking to create a modern day equivalent to the electrician's tool bag, the digital toolbox, where all of our learners can take such digital tools with them into their new roles. At Digital Innovators, we're passionate about helping you to be the best you that you can be. And we measure our outcome by the success of our students. So really, who better to hear from than our students themselves? And I think, I'm not sure if there's a particular order we're going in on your agenda, but I'm sure the guys are raring to go.
Excellent, thank you, Mick. I got Sharon up first, actually, if that's okay, and she's ready to go. However, I just need to question: is this part of your cohort in the background? Is this part of the learning process? This
skydiving's entry number one. If you can't,
skydiving's entry number one.
Waste of time.
Yeah, great stuff.
The sky's limitless.
I love it. Sharon, if you are there, over to you. Start talking. If you're on speaker view, everyone can see you pop up on the screen. The floor is yours.
Hello, I'm Sharon. I'm 22 and I live in Birmingham. I'm a graduate from the University of Birmingham with a 2-1 in accounting and finance. I've been taking part in the Digital Innovators program for the past few weeks, and I want to be able to build my skills and experience. Since graduating, the biggest challenge I found is that many companies want 1 to 2 years of work experience, and that makes it difficult to find employment, and especially graduate level employment. So by being on the course, I've been able to take part in sessions on a variety of topics such as communication skills, problem solving, negotiation, and building confidence. The sessions have been very informative, and they have given me the opportunity to learn more about my strengths. My favorite session I've taken part in so far is programming for non-programmers. In this, we were given instructions on how to create things like a translator and a text analyzer. It was using a software called CodeRed, which I thought was really cool. Although I don't come from a coding background, I really enjoyed this, and it made me want to learn more how to code. Previously, I'd only done like a few little bits of coding whilst at university. I did a few boot camps, but following the programs definitely made me realize how much I do enjoy coding, and I would like to consider a career in it. Currently, I'm working on a trial project, which gives us a taster on what I can expect from employer-led projects, which are starting next week. So with the employer project, we'd get to work on a real-life project with an employer. And I feel like I'm excited for that, as that will give me the opportunity to apply the skills that I learned in the sessions. And also it gives me a chance to work with a real business and gain work experience. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the next few weeks to see what I get up to. And then after the course, I'd like to try and find a career either in technology and coding, or if not, my degree background, which is accounting and finance. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. That's really, really interesting to to hear your journey on that and some of the content as well. I'm starting to think my job sounds a bit boring compared to some of the things you guys are up to. I'm going to invite people to put in questions in the chat. We're going to go through the rest of the Digital Innovators team, and then we'll come back and throw some questions to you. So I'm going to hand over to Mohammed next. If you just want to start talking, if everyone's got you on speaker view, you should pop up on the screen. So over to you.
Can you hear me? I've had a bit of connection issues, so if you can't hear me, please let me know. My name is Mohammed Ghalib. I am 20. Thank you. My name is Mohammed Ghalib. I am 20 years old and I live in Birmingham. So just over a year ago now, I finished my college course where I studied networking and cybersecurity. And at the same time, I underwent the Digital Innovators program for 2 years, from 2017 to 2019. And I finished in 2019 when I was 19 years of age. I joined the program for many different reasons, but one of the main reasons was because it was highlighted to us that the students, including myself, would get to work with a different range of employers, which could potentially lead to like further apprenticeships after college. So this straight away, grasped my interest because I had been always eager to get into the working world and I've always been eager to gain experience. So since I was 16, I was applying for jobs and always trying to get as much experience as I could. So doing this while I was at college was a massive bonus.
Girls.
It was also highlighted that Am I right to carry on?
Yeah, sorry, keep going. It's just to everybody, if you could put yourselves on mute apart from the speaker, just because if any background noise comes up, then it interrupts the screen. So go pick yourself back up, Mohammed. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, it's fine, it's fine. So it was also highlighted that the program would teach us soft skills, which employers actively look for. And obviously this also, I was also interested in this because as I said before, as soon as I turned 16, I was trying to look for jobs. I was trying to look for different experience, even if it was just like odd bits and jobs here and there. And obviously with looking for jobs, there comes a lot of rejection, there comes a lot of people turning you down. And at the time, I thought it was solely because I was young, because I was inexperienced, and because obviously I could only work part-time. But I didn't know that there was this set of skills which employers actively look for. And going through however many years of secondary school and even a year in sixth form before I joined Digital Innovators, these soft skills were never really spoken to us about. We weren't really told about them. We weren't really, introduced to them. So as soon as I heard this, I wanted to automatically just grasp the opportunity. Because as I didn't mention before, when I joined the course, it was actually an optional course. So I didn't actually have to do it in order to get my college, in order to finish college. But as soon as I heard this, there was no way I could really say no to the course. But even after that, I didn't really know how much I would gain from it. Yeah, they were telling us I was going to learn this, we were going to teach you that, and you'd have a wide range of employers. I didn't know how much I could actually benefit from it. But being here today, almost 3 years after starting it, I can honestly say that I've learned so much. I've gained so many experience. I've worked with a large number of different employers from all over Birmingham and even outside of Birmingham. So where has the course led me to today? Well, for the last year, I have been working with CCL Forensics, which is a forensics company up in Stratford. And I can proudly say I am one of the only people that they have hired that has not got a graduate degree. And the only other person that they have hired without a graduate degree was also a member of Digital Forensics. Also a member of Digital Innovators. So it really goes to, you really see that it does benefit you. So I've been working with them for about a year now, and I am more than happy with how it's all turned out. And I cannot stress enough how much the program has benefited me. I do believe there's a Q&A session for Digital Forensics in a little short while. So if you do have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Mohammed. And yeah, just a kind of aid memoir to everybody out there that you don't necessarily have to go through the traditional routes to get to access to good jobs. And actually, I'm testament to that myself as well, to be perfectly honest. So well done, fantastic. And that kind of piece around soft skills, absolutely. You do need to be able to fit into an organisation, and it's not so cut and shut about your exact job role. There are other skills that you have to have around that. So it's really great to hear that that Mick's teaching you guys such a holistic approach. I'm going to move on next to Kobe. So Kobe, over to you. If you were around, you just need to start speaking.
Hi everybody. I'm Kobe Noah. Born in Birmingham, 18 years old. Going from I wouldn't say I've had the most traditional way of getting to where I am today. I've going from secondary school. I spent most of my time wondering what was I going to do, what my aspirations in life, pretty much. Because I grew up being really good at a number of subjects, but IT was actually one of them that really bloomed late on. And I spent a lot of my time just kind of figuring out myself in a way. It's more in year 10 that really in terms of my IT ability, then I kind of realized and was I'm good at so and so, but IT does carry more benefits in this day and age. One of the reasons that drew me to IT overall was the fact nowadays IT technology is taken over. It's revolutionizing every year. Is upgrades keep on coming. But yeah, going into college, even then I wasn't exactly sure what my end result was going to be. I kind of was trying to figure out, where do I want to go? Because in college we learned about a whole diverse subject of there's a bunch of diverse subjects, and trying to pick out exactly what route I want to go down in my career. I found that pretty difficult to specify, but that was all until after my first year of college, where then I joined the Digital Innovator Scheme. Over even during my course in this, I've only just came out of college, by the way. Currently I am going to be starting an apprenticeship, but last year before the summer break, it was my last year of college, and during that last year, my final year of the course at college, I found that very even then I wasn't really sure what I was gonna do. I knew obviously I wanted to go down the IT route of things, but I found myself just stumbling for where do I exactly want to go. But that was until I did go on to the Digital Innovator Scheme, because there I met Mick, I met a whole bunch of people, and they were very you could see how passionate they were to get me using my skills for the better and putting everything that I've learned to use. So they taught us a whole bunch of things like negotiation skills, communication, confidence, and before any of that, I was a whole different person. Going on later down the Digital Innovator Scheme, where I was part of the projects, talking to people with a lot of experience in the business world. Doing that before I met Digital Innovators, it would just been a shambles. I would have found it very difficult to compose any sentence, really, because coming out of school, that was confidence was an issue of mine, and college really did help that, but not more than Digital Innovators. Nowadays I find as I said, I'm on an apprenticeship with these innovators. So I'm going to be using what I've learned from them and just my overall ability to do what they've been doing, really. Putting faith in the youth and enforcing what they believe in, which is, the students that they have on offer, they can offer a lot to everyone else, just like they did with me. And I'm going to be doing my part to really aid that overall. I'd say in terms of Digital Innovators, it has been a very eye-opening experience overall. And yeah, it's hard to put into words, really. Comparing me before it to after is a whole different thing.
Thank you,
So,
Kobe. That's excellent. I mean, we didn't see pre digital innovators, Kobe, but I can certainly endorse you. Post digital innovators, you sound perfectly articulate to me and perfectly confident to me, and I think to everybody else on the course. So thank you for presenting. I know it kind of takes a lot of confidence from everybody, and you just keep on doing what you're doing. So we're going to fire some questions to you in a minute, but before that, we're going to move on to Unati. Unati, are you there?
Yeah, so I'm Unati. I'm 22 years old and I'm currently living in Leicester. I've moved back home. I've recently graduated with an undergraduate degree in English language from Aston University. So I'm keen to sort of come back to Birmingham because I love the city. I'm currently taking part in the Digital Innovators programme with Sharon. And I came on the course mainly to sort of improve my project management and confidence and leadership skills. These are some skills that I gained through my placement year, but I just believe in like continuous learning, and I think it's a really good way for me to develop these skills a little bit further. Something that mainly attracted me to the programme was the project-based element of it, because I think it's a really good way for us to like apply our skills to a real life situation, potentially make real impact on a company. And I think a really unique aspect of the program, something that I really enjoyed, was the profiling element right at the start, because I think it was really interesting to just see how like skills that you don't realize that you have. For me, a big one was creativity that I didn't initially think that I had in some aspects. So I think it's really helped me realize that I have that skill, and it's already benefited benefited me in that I feel like I've become a lot more confident, and I've used some of the problem solving elements that I've learned in my weekend role. So I'm just working in retail at the moment. But I think it's still a great way to sort of apply skills that you've learned. And digital innovators do put a lot of emphasis on the application. And like Sharon said, I'm really excited to see how I can apply them to a bigger project.
Excellent. Thank you for coming along and telling your experience as well. It sounds like you're all having an absolute blast. So well done to all of you, and well done to Mick. So if you're all on hand to answer a few questions that I'm going to fire at you now from the chat function, I'll kind of point them out to each of you and give you an opportunity to speak each. But a lot of you talked about the skills and the opportunities that you've had so far. What do you think? What kind of skills or opportunities do you think that you're going to need to continue to grow and develop? So if I said that to Unati first, so you've got yourself to a certain point, you've been through some of the things on the Digital Innovators Programme, you've got a kind of educational background anyway, but moving forwards, what would you think you're going to need to kind of grow and prosper?
So I think just being able to apply the skills, because like Sharon said, a lot of employers are asking for experience, and I think more so now because of like remote working and things like that, people aren't able to train. So I think the actual project element of it will really help us sort of develop those skills that employers are looking for, and hopefully will be a way for us to learn new skills through that as well.
Excellent. Thank you, Unati. I'm going to go backwards. So Kobe.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. With me, I'd say personally the way I'm going, mainly experience more than anything. I'd say that I'm capable of a lot of things, but until like I really put that gain some experience overall, I can't really, you know, overall, I'll just say just experience, because at least like the way like I'm going, I already like as I said, I already know like what I'm capable of. But other than like with projects that I've done for Digital Innovators, obviously I built skills that way. But personally, it's hard to really answer that because I think I've got a bit more experience personally. But yeah.
No problem. No, I think what we pick out from that is that there's, you know, that continued opportunity to get those real world experiences and put some of your learning into practice, which I guess is a shout out to anybody that runs a business in the audience to engage with people like Mick and Alex to be able to provide those opportunities for you guys. So thank you, Kobe. Mohammed, over to you. Yourself, what do you think? If you know, you've kind of come so far along your journey, if you're kind of looking forward, what kind of like skills or opportunities do you think you're going to need to continue?
I think it's just the willingness to learn new skills. I feel like Digital Innovators has given us this the confidence to go ahead and take everything we've learned and just apply it into the real world. And I feel like if you want, okay, say if I wanted a career change now, I feel like I have the confidence to go into an interview. I have the ability to, you know, show an employer that I have got what it takes. It's just them learning them new skills for that particular job. So if I wanted to go into coding, I think the willingness to learn coding and go through it, maybe do a course, is what's going to take me to the next step in my career.
Okay, excellent, thank you. And Sharan.
Yeah, I feel like with skills, it's a very important thing because for me personally, as a graduate, you have the education when you try and like apply for jobs, you have that element, but the skills are the elements that employers want to see, and it's not just about your educational background. Because once you've got a degree, they know you have that. So I feel it's important to always keep on building on your skills, as that is the thing that becomes more important later on. So that's what I would say. Yeah.
Excellent, thank you. A quick question to Mick. So you kind of answered this one in the chat, but just to kind of elaborate slightly more, do Digital Innovator students also work together as a cohort to learn from each other? You know, that kind of like peer learning alongside being mentored. So Mick, do you want to just kind of give a bit of a further elaboration on the experience that you provide for the cohorts through that process?
Yeah, sure. I didn't think the terms of engagement wanted me to have a question, but there you go. Yes, they do learn from each other. It's really important for us that the students develop their confidence with each other first. So we train in cohorts, we break down into sub-teams, and then they're built as project teams as well to work together. So they're transferring skills between each other. They've also got mentors that are industry. So we try and use mentors from things like STEM ambassadors, stuff like that, who come in and transfer some of their thinking across to students as well. So they get a very rich seam of knowledge and experience that they can take from. And a couple of the guys and girls have said about their lack of confidence. When you really do lack that confidence, I think it's really important to have that sort of safe environment to start from and to work together from before we let you out in the real world, which can be quite scary for some people.
Indeed, absolutely. And that is a critical part, isn't it? It's, you know, you can learn, but you kind of need to be able to be put into a position where you understand exactly what the kind of the brutalities of the real world are like to a certain degree. Okay, thank you, Mick, and thank you for all of the presentations from your cohort there. I kind of want to fire this question back to everybody before we move on to the next stage. It's a really good question, actually, from Dan Hoff-Rodriguez. If you could go back to school again, where would you want more support from? So this one's not to you or me, Mick. We know that there was some historic challenges, unfortunately. But yeah, if we go all the way back to Jayden, if you could go back to school again, what would you like to see? What could have supported you better?
That's a difficult question. Maybe during university when I was having problems with my eyesight, maybe just more support in terms of checking up with me. But yeah, because I feel like the loneliness that I had in like the university really led up to why I wasn't able to finish my degree in the first place.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, that's well noted. Jake, same question to you.
Hi there. Yeah, that's if I was to go back to school, I'd definitely reconsider my options. What I chose for GCSEs, but I'd also tell myself that if you're struggling with something, or you don't feel like you're going to get anywhere after this, don't let that paranoia get to you, because like there's so much out there that are looking for you, and that you can do a lot of great things if you put your mind to it and if you apply yourself, and that's something I quite often failed to do at school. So yeah.
Okay, thank you. Sharon, about you? If you could go back, if you could rewind time, obviously not so much time for you guys compared to me, but if you guys could rewind a very relatively short amount of time, what would you have done differently, perhaps, or what support would you have liked that wasn't available?
For me personally, I think a big thing is experience. You don't realize in school how important experience is, and it's not just about your educational background. So yeah, I feel like a bigger element on either gaining work experience at a younger age, but also maybe even looking for employment at a younger age,
Okay,
alongside your studies. I would suggest that.
Thank you. Mohammed.
So yeah, as I mentioned before, I feel like schools sort of disregard soft skills or don't put as much emphasis on the soft skills as as they should. I feel like when you go through schools, their main priority and the qualification is that GCSE, it's that BTEC, it's that A level, whatever it may be. And to be fair to them, it is a very important thing to focus on. But I feel like schools can make a bit more effort and set time aside to actually teach students these soft skills that they will need at work or in a working environment. So yeah, soft skills for me, I think, is a very big.
Thank you. Okay, great stuff. Thank you, Mohammed. Kobe, over to you.
Personally, I'd say I think when it comes to like teach in school, it feels like the teachers and the students are they're like the bond doesn't feel very, like in college you'll find most students find it more relaxing because like there's less numbers and it feels more personal towards you and the teacher, as in like you feel like more of an adult instead of just a child just having to do what he's got to do. um I feel like that's kind of missed in school. I feel like it becomes too much a game of just getting on with it. I feel like you have that closer bond between your teachers and your students. You do get not just a confidence boost, like I think it does just help overall, like just and see what happens afterwards. Like they'll work harder, I think you just need to have that relationship between your tutor and your students overall. It kind of touch on Mohammed's point, but yeah, that's my input.
Excellent. Thank you, Kobe. And Inati, over to you, finally.
For me, I would say probably they should push like just teamwork a little bit more, because I think when I was at college, I remember like I did English language as well, and we, as much as we had group discussions, we didn't really do group work, and I think it just gets really competitive when you're working with people at uni on like a group project. So I think they could just push collaboration a little bit more. Personally, I think that's definitely something that like digital innovators have pushed, and I think like I really like our little cohort. I think we work really well together.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you for that. There's a really nice kind of final comment to you. We're calling you the next gen team, from Amrit Singh, saying, "Don't look back in regret, but in admiration on how far you've come." And I think that is very, very true. And how we should kind of end your session now. So if what I would really like to do is everybody, if you would unmute yourselves for a second and give this amazing, amazing group of young people a great big round of applause for having the confidence to come in the middle of Birmingham Tech Week and present to everybody. So,
Hey.
Well done.
Great job, everybody.
Well done, everyone smashed it.
Guys, thank you so much.
Bravo.
bravo indeed, bravo indeed. Well done, everybody. We appreciate it. So just as I was saying, we had a little pep talk at the beginning, and this event would be nothing without you guys. You know, you really are the stars of the show here, and I think you've just proven to everybody just how valuable kind of like diversity across innovation in the region is. So thank you so much for getting involved. I'm going to move on to the next part of the session now, so do please all stay with us, because this next part, if I just share my screen, is called New Voices, and we really do have an absolute powerhouse of people to show you from the next gen through to these guys. Just going to move on to them for you. Bear with me a second. So we've got 3 new voices. We're calling these guys new voices because they're slightly further on than the next gen representatives. And, you know, everybody needs a role model in life, but not just a role model, a good role model. And we want to be able to showcase and give a platform to some of you great people to not only further your own career, but to act as heroes for these next gen people that are coming through the ranks. And I do hope that this next series of presentations from our new voices of innovation kind of strikes a chord with every single one of you that are presented so far. You know, have a look at where these guys are now, see what they've achieved, and use that as inspiration to keep driving you forward. So hopefully we have Naomi with us. So calling out to Naomi, are you there? And if she's not,
saw her flash off actually. So
no, don't worry, we can come back round when she comes back on. So Anwar, I saw you in the audience earlier. Are you there? Unmute yourself and say hello.
Yes, hello, I'm here.
Hello,
yeah.
Excellent. I'm going to stop sharing this because I know that you have got a fab little presentation that you want to give to everybody, but I just need to make you a co-host. So let's just do that now. There you go. So so Anwar's going to kick us off. Feel free to start sharing your screen. You've got 5 minutes to run through your story to everybody. I know you've got some really interesting things to show us. I'm really looking forward to this one, especially your well, I won't spoil it for anybody, you tell them, but over to you.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you now, Anwar.
All right, good. All right. So, hi everyone. I am Anwar Al-Mujarkesh, CEO and founder of Innovation Factory. I wanted to share my story today. My starting when I was very young, starting to fix TVs, radios, and this kind of games. And unfortunately, I couldn't fix any of those, but it's motivated me to understand and learn more about the electrical and electronic stuff, etc. Then I have, when I was 14 years old, I have started studying this in a private institute, how this electronics and electrical engineer, how does it work? And then I applied for the first pilot when I was 14 years old. It was for a very smart project, like a kind of smart carpet to detect the movements for the theft people. And then I studied electrical engineer in Jordan University. All my friends graduated after 4 years. Unfortunately, myself, I graduated after 7 years. The reason why is because I started working on very crazy projects, such as this one, like it's rolling shoes. It has this a motor with the tire and chain, is just like it's for fun. So I invested lots of time doing kind of crazy things. And then another project, a smart scooter. This was back in 2009. It was not like uncommon to see kind of electric scooters with a battery. I was like so much motivated to do this thing and forget about my study in university. And then I moved to another crazy project like this smart umbrella. It will pop up to cover the myself. If it's sensing the rain, it's like automatically will go up and cover myself. It was also interesting. During the university, I have participated in lots of competitions in Greece, in Australia, in Denmark, in Jordan, in Sweden, in lots of these competitions with different projects during my university. However, in terms of my study, I was extremely lazy and I couldn't wake up for my morning classes in university. The reason why, because I'm a heavy sleeper. I couldn't hear the alarm clock in the morning. So what I have think about is how about to get the alarm clock, link it with a tank of water to splash water on me in the morning to wake up. It's working very well. However, I woke up always wet like this cat. It is solving my problem to wake up in my morning class, but at the same time, I'm waking up completely wet. So I told myself, why not to develop a smart algorithm, do sound classification on smartphones to classify the alarm clock sounds. My phone will vibrate and will send a notification to my pillow to vibrate or to my smartwatch to vibrate, so I can wake up effectively. It's working very well. However, I noticed that people with hearing loss, they can't hear not only the alarm clock, they can't hear fire alarms, microwave beeping, dog barking, sirens, doorbells, car horns, knocking on the door, telephone, and wide range of sounds. So what I have developed is I extended the use of this sound classification algorithm to use a smartphone application, send a notification alongside with emitting some strong scent of menthol or coffee to alert people with hearing loss so we can save their lives during this emergency case. Fire alarms, smoke alarms, monoxide, and lots of wide range of sounds. Then we have developed this sound classification algorithm on smartphone, using the built-in microphone of your smartphone to classify wide range of sounds alongside with sending a notification through your smartwatch vibrate, telling you what type of the sounds have been classified. The journey started at this point. It was very difficult for myself. We started to look for investors, applying for competitions. I started in Jordan back in 2009. Then I traveled to Qatar, and then I traveled to Czech Republic, and then to Finland, and then Denmark, and finally to the UK. Why all these countries? Because we keep applying for a competition. We won that competition. We go for this accelerator program for six months or a year. We spend our time there, and then our trip is ended, and then we go to apply for another project or another accelerator program. At the end, we finally found ourselves. UK is the best location for us. The reason why, because the majority of elderly people, they have hearing loss. The number of people of hearing loss higher than any other of these countries. Then we have developed and invented our sound classification algorithm. We'll be able to classify wide range of sounds: snoring, theft alarm, microwave beeping, and wide range of sounds. Not only to help people with hearing loss, we can use it for a wide range of sounds. For example, snoring detection. This snoring app on your smartphone will classify the snoring sounds and then will send a notification to your Apple Watch or Android or any type of smartband to vibrate so you can shift the wrong position of sleeping. So we utilize this technology also to help people with hearing loss. Alongside with that, during this journey, we have lots of publicity on The Guardian, on the TV, Danish TV channel. We've been part of Dragon's Den as well back in 2017, and Czech Republic magazine. So we've got a very nice publicity around the world by using or utilizing sound classification algorithm to help people with hearing loss, and use it for other purposes to increase safety, security, and comfort. We have worked with very strong partners: Samsung, LG, NHS, Network Rail, HS2, London Midland. Alongside using the sound classification, we can use it for predictive maintenance or any problems. We can solve it with the sound classification. After that, during COVID, we told ourselves, okay, why not also to expand and discover the sound classification, what we can do with that. So we have developed this app. It's available online. We'll classify the tap water sounds, and then therefore we'll show you a countdown on the screen once the sound detected of the tap water, and then we show you a timer for 20 seconds, so you can wash your hand at least for 20 seconds. It's working very well. We would like to help people to advise them how to wash their hand at least for 20 seconds. At the end, thank you very much, Greater Birmingham and Solihull, because they have supported me on one of my projects, the air quality sensor, in early year 2020, and we were able to achieve a great goals. Right now, we have a good partnership with some of the city councils to deploy some sound classification algorithm to improve the air quality sensors. Thank you very much for your time.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Anwar. That was hilarious and very interesting in equal measure. So I don't know about you being a hero to the next gen. You're my hero. I want someone to come and make me a scooter and wake me up in the morning by squirting water on my face from my mobile phone and all sorts of different things, let alone my own 2 small children. So thank you very much for sharing that. That was fantastic. We'll come back to some Q&As with all 3 of you in a minute, but I think we've got Naomi back in the room with us. So I'll pass over to her. Are you there, Naomi?
Hi, everyone.
Hello. Welcome
Hey,
back.
sorry, my camera wasn't working, so.
No problem whatsoever, no problem.
Yeah.
So yeah, without further ado, Naomi, over to you.
Okay, great. Thank you for having me to speak. I just wanted to say I've actually been very inspired by hearing everyone share a bit about their journey. This is what I'm really interested in, just people's journey, whether that's at work in terms of like customer experience, but also the fact that I can resonate a lot with what some people are going through in terms of, I think it was Jake when he says he left uni, or not uni, he left college, and he had that panic of thinking about employment. And I really had that same situation when I left uni a couple of years ago. So a bit of an introduction. My name is Naomi Robinson, and I am currently an analyst at Capgemini on the Business and Technology Graduate Scheme, where I have been for over a year now. And I did geography at University of Manchester, human geography. And if you told me at uni that I would be working within the technology space, I would not have believed you, just because I never ever considered a career in technology, mainly because of visibility. I didn't know a lot of people around me that worked in technology. A lot of my friends at uni were kind of starting like finance and consulting internships. So I thought, okay, consulting sounds interesting. And I thought that I could use like my communication skills. And honestly, I like the idea of working on a number of different projects in industries and traveling. So I was like, okay, business consulting, management consulting, even though I didn't really know what the role entailed. So during university, I did a couple of internships, one being at the New York Times, a social mobility charity, mainly to do with like customer insights and project management. And what I really learned from these internships is that I started to narrow down what my interests were in terms of how I could bring my personality to work. So I knew that I liked to communicate with people, but I also knew that I liked a dynamic work environment as well, and seeing a project through and actually measuring the value of that project. So I left university, and then the turning point for me actually was doing Code First for Girls front-end web development course, where I learned the basics of front-end web development. And funny enough, even though I finished the course, it was a great experience. I met a lot of great people. I decided that I did not want to become a developer or go into a purely technical role, which brings me to my first point, that anyone that's considering technology like myself, you don't have to go into a technical role. So even though I am on a business and technology graduate scheme, I don't come from a technical background, but you can enter technology doing a number of different roles. So I did humanity-based A-levels. So I think that contributes to why I never considered a career in IT, because I always assumed that you had to come from a very technical background. Capgemini is very supportive. So if one day I did decide, okay, I do want to pursue that technical route, I know that I could, but just knowing what I would like to achieve at work, I know that a non-technical role isn't for me. And I really liked the talks from everyone that's on digital innovators as well, just that importance of soft skills, because I believe that me realizing what soft skills that are my strengths and things that I need to work on was really critical to my journey in terms of getting onto a graduate scheme and achieving while being on a graduate scheme. So I think one of the main challenges that I had when I joined Capgemini is that I did feel very intimidated. So I vividly remember in the induction, there was about 60 graduates from a lot of different universities, and everyone had come from a technical background. I believe that it was just me and one other person that had come from a social sciences background. And immediately that self-doubt and intimidation, not by anyone else, but actually from my own personal thoughts, did limit myself in terms of how open I was in group exercises in the introduction week. And actually my first couple of weeks at Capgemini, that did hinder, okay, what am I, do I constantly have to play catch up to everyone that is coming from a technical background? But it was actually one of my managers who confirmed to me that not only do I bring a different perspective coming from a humanities background, but there's a lot of things that I can learn, not just technical, but in terms of soft skills. So I would definitely say I've been on my graduate scheme for over a year now. And yes, I've done a lot of certification that's helped contextualize what I've been doing. But I would say the most important skill set to what has made me achieve my success in my first year has definitely been my soft skills, and also that relationship with myself. So how do I see myself? What comfort zones am I in? What do I need to push myself to do? How do I treat other people? And yes, I do want to reiterate that that technical ability, that continuous learning is something that you should always do, but there should be equal or more importance into the soft skills and learning yourself, you know, what you want to do when you leave uni or school is a very broad question. But I think if you start answering those questions within yourselves, it might take some critical thinking, such as what work environment do I see myself in? Is that fast paced? Is that flexible? What kind of team do I see myself in? What role do I naturally feel that I'm drawing myself to? What makes me feel uncomfortable within the work environment? Those critical questions that honestly during school and education, no one really pushes you to ask yourself. And what I didn't get pushed to ask that, that has been really critical for me. So I just wanted to share my journey, definitely in the hope of anyone that has not come from a technical background to really look at different roles within the tech space, and also to constantly be working on your soft skills and that, you know, relationship that you have with yourself, and those critical questions that you have to ask. And I definitely feel that I'm still on that path of, you know, answering those questions, but at least I'm actively asking them, and that's definitely guiding me to where I want to be. So yeah, thank you for listening.
Well, thank you for presenting. That was brilliant. Thank you very much. Actually, just to currently throw it out there, I think imposter syndrome is the kind of experience that you kind of felt, you know, that I think every single one of us has felt imposter syndrome at one time. And I agree, it should be something that is perhaps more acknowledged, that you're going to feel this way, and being prepared that you're going to feel that way. So thank you for your frankness on that. And it sounds like you've been doing a great job. So well done. And like I said, we're going to come back for questions. So we're going to move on now to Hamza. Hamza, if you're out there, are you there?
I am, yeah, but I think my camera's not working properly.
Don't worry, no problem. Are you yeah, if your camera doesn't work, don't let it throw you. Feel free to just carry on going unless you can get it working.
Yeah,
we don't
no worries. Well, my name's Hamza Ali. I'm 20 currently, and I've been based out of Birmingham my entire life. The course that I had taken in my college years was a level 3 extended BTEC in computer science. During that period of time, I was introduced to Mick Westman. Well, he introduced himself to me. He walked into the classroom, swaggered in, and presented himself to the class quite enthusiastically, and got zero applause and not too much attention. But me and 5 of my friends decided, you know what, we'll give it a go. Turned up to the first sessions, and at first it seems as though he might be patronizing you. He might be telling you things you already know. But over time, it started to sink in that he was teaching us skills that we didn't already know that we had. He was developing not just soft skills, but an attitude, and that is that if you approach the working environment thinking that you already know what you need to do and you're already capable of it, then you will fail. It's not knowing that you're capable of doing something, it's being able to accept that you might have limitations and having a willingness to learn. And that's how you'll succeed in any working environment. I'm not saying that from my personal experience. I'm just saying that in general, most people can agree you have to have a willingness to learn. And my personal journey is, I'm sure you've met one of my colleagues already, Mo Galib. Me and him, we came straight out of college. Within the first 2 or 3 weeks of finishing Digital Innovators, we got a call from Mick excitedly saying that there's a assessment day open at a forensics company, and that is a good opportunity. We weren't very much aware of what was going on or what it could lead to, but we enthusiastically attended the assessment day, and it led to jobs. Most other people that were within the role had finished university, that they were postgraduates. We were not. We'd just come straight out of college, no prior work experience, nothing within the field at least. And it was surprising how much of the job you'd already be familiar with if you were, like, say for example, just playing on your computer. The skills are transferable, and within computing, a lot of the skills are transferable. But that's I think the extent of it with me. I've not got much else to say.
Thank you, Hamza. That sounds great that you've had such a positive experience, and I think it's again, almost a bit like kind of rewinding to Anwar and Naomi. That first step to get onto the journey, having that confidence to either, plug after that innovation that you can see, that new invention that you want to develop, that getting over that that imposter syndrome, but kind of giving that opportunity a chance, like Mick coming into that room to you on that day and leading you on this journey. It's just kind of pushing yourself, pushing your boundaries, and giving yourself the opportunity to be able to grow. So I think that gleans through from each and every one of you. So thank you guys, really appreciate that. I've got some questions in the chat. I'm going to fire a few of these over to you before we move on to the call to action that we've got for you guys. So this is a question to Naomi from our Innovation Alliance Director, Pam Wardell. Naomi, what put you off considering STEM at an early age in your education?
Oh, that's a good question. Thanks for that, Pam. I wouldn't say nothing necessarily put me off, because I did enjoy maths and science when I was younger, especially at GCSE. I did extra maths and extra science. But I guess what stopped me from pursuing that further into A-levels was that I thought that my A-levels had to be quite complementary to each other. So I thought it'd be a good idea to do essay-based A-levels. And I didn't really have like teachers or anyone to say, oh, why don't you, continue pursuing with that? So yeah, I guess that's probably why I didn't decide to pursue those interests with STEM.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you. There's a few questions coming out to each and every one of you, so I'll kind of go round robin with you all. With regards to recommending 3 things to help young people self-identify as innovators or entrepreneurs, what's your kind of advice? And I mean, first of all, I want to get you three's advice to the next gen, but I also want to ask the next gen guys this as well. You know, in terms of what would be your advice to anyone coming up through the ranks in this space, as to how can they have the confidence, or how can they self-identify as an innovator or an entrepreneur? So Naomi, do you want to go first?
Okay, another good question. I would definitely say risk, but not a risk that compromises who you are, but a risk where you're putting yourself outside of your comfort zone. So whether it's signing up for a course or having a conversation with someone that you look up to, just really pushing those boundaries. And I think that definitely cultivates a ability to put yourself out there, whether it's entrepreneurial or whether that's collaborating with other people or whether that's within a company. Secondly, I would definitely say relationships. So definitely nurture relationships with people that you come across who are interesting, or you feel that your story resonates, and just continue building that. Just continue building those relationships, because I think that's really valuable, whatever you decide to do. And thirdly, I would say curiosity, because I'm quite a curious person. So if I hear a new term or something that I don't know about, especially in technology where there's very changing, there's new terms every single week, just research that further, because that's how I found the role that I want to do, just doing that personal research. So definitely be curious, have that boldness to ask questions, and it's okay not to always know the answers.
Excellent, thank you so much. Hamza, we've got your video back. This is Hamza.
Yeah.
Hamza in the flesh. So three things that you would recommend to young people to self-identify as innovators or entrepreneurs.
Well, I don't think I'm qualified to present myself as an innovator, but the best bit of advice I could give is, as I said earlier, have a willingness to learn, understand that you might make a mistake, but don't consider it a failure. Everyone will make a mistake, but the people who fail are those who don't learn from them. Just be willing to put yourself out there, and even if things don't pan out, there'll be other opportunities. You'll have more and more experiences, and the more you have, the more you'll be willing to learn, and the more you'll expand your skill base. And over time, you'll find that you'll have developed a series of skills that you can put forward to an employer, and it might be the exact thing that they're looking for in the job, or you'll just develop over time. Don't be put off if you don't get everything straight away.
Very good advice indeed. Thank you for that.
Can I just chip in just for a second?
Go for it.
That's why Hamza's an innovator, and he doesn't know it, and I think that's brilliant. Okay, Hamza, you're so modest about what you do. You are insanely bright and insanely smart about what you talk about.
Oh gosh, you're gonna make me blush.
Well, no, because I think I genuinely believe we need more students, like most of the students on this call, actually, to motivate the 15, 16, 17, 18, 19-year-olds in the region, because actually we've got a hell of a lot of talent in this region, and we just need to uncap it. And unfortunately, people like myself and Alex, we're getting a little bit grey, and we need people like that. And Hamza, I think you're totally an innovator. I really do.
Excellent.
Sorry, I just think he undersells himself.
Oh, well, I'm sure he does. Yeah, exactly. Then this is all part and parcel of this whole journey. Going back to Naomi about the kind of imposter syndrome. And you wouldn't have been picked to be on this, Hamza, if you didn't have something good to give. And you're giving some great advice to some of our young people, and we wish you all the best. So have confidence. I'm going to move on to Anwar. Anwar, can you give us three things, three pieces of advice that you would give to young people to self-identify as innovators or entrepreneurs?
Sure. I've been doing this 10 years ago. So to be honest, it's really difficult route to either to go and build your startup or you do your traditional job with any other company. I do encourage people, if they have, the first advice is, if you have any innovative idea, do your research online if someone is doing something similar. If not, you couldn't find anyone doing this, then move forward to build your team. Secondly, the team is really important. I failed a few times to build a team because you need to pick up all the skills required to grow your business. And thirdly, put yourselves as the customer, how they will think about your solution, your product, your service. At the end, if you are able to achieve this, I think you're going to have successful business or service. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you very much for that. There are a few more questions in the chat. I'm very conscious that we've only got a couple of minutes before I'm going to pass over to my colleague Pam. But I guess I'm just going to go back through you guys again in terms of if you were to in terms of employers. So if you were a business leader or a senior manager who's hiring today, what advice would you give to them around hiring today's young people? To the employer who might be looking at, a whole range of people with all sorts of different experiences, qualifications, you name it. What would be your advice specifically around hiring today's young people? If I fire that one out, I'm going to go back, reverse through again. So Anwar.
Well, we are hiring in monthly basis, like people like with a good development background. I mean, coding, etc. The advice is you need to show to the employer that you are like you have this goal or passion in this business, and you are looking to take it to the next level. You need to be part of the team, not like a volunteering or like someone is working secondary in this company. The second advice is it would be well, it's really difficult. Is you need to be available most of the time. If there is any innovative idea or proposal or something that will change the route of the business, because the more team members you have in the company with more innovative idea, that will make it a unique in the market and will get more traction for sure in the market. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you for that, Anwar. Naomi, so just your final gambit out to the employer world about recruiting the young people of today.
Yeah, so I would say that there was a good comment from, I believe, Susanna about bringing your whole self at work and not separating who you are to what you do. And I can completely agree. So in response to that question about advice to employers, is definitely actively look for young people that think differently, that have come from a range of different backgrounds, and that have something in their CV that stands out. So maybe it's something they've been doing as a hobby or part-time, but really shows about who they are and what their motivations are. And this sometimes can't really be seen in academic achievements. So yeah, just really actively hire and looking for people that think differently and bring themselves to work, because I think those are the people that definitely will stay and provide value.
Excellent. Thank you, Naomi. That's great. Okay, so I'm going to have to cut it short there because I'm going to have to pass back over to Pam now to give her time to fit through the rest of the agenda. So Pam, I hope you're still with us.
I am still here.
You're still here. Excellent stuff. Okay, I'm just going to get the deck back up. So bear with me a second so I can give you Pam's.
Well, Ian's doing that. Can I just say, I've never talked at the end of a meeting where I've had such a tough act to follow. That has just been fantastic, and thank you all very much. You know, we've talked a lot today about learning from mentors and so on, but I think it's never too late to learn, for us older grey-haired people to learn from the young as well. So thank you for that. So if I can just skip on to the next slide, Ian, for the sake of time. So we want to finish off today by just saying what's happening next, because this event is part of a campaign from the Innovation Alliance for the West Midlands and multiple partners, which we're calling West Midlands New Voices of Innovation. The purpose of this is really to have a much greater diversity of representation, people who can be, you know, role models, heroes, inspiration, whatever you want to call it. The first part of what we're doing is a series of events, and today is the first of those events. And as Ian said, that we have a sister event tomorrow, which is a panel discussion, and it's all about developing a diverse talent pipeline. And that last question that we were just looking at about identifying as an innovator and entrepreneur is part of what we're going to be discussing with a panel tomorrow. And there's other questions about the one I really like is about how we can ensure that diversity is a given, not a challenge in Birmingham 2030 and Birmingham Tech Week 2030. So that's tomorrow. So please join us if you can for that. And then we're having another event in November. So there's been a recent report that's come out funded by Innovate UK, the National Innovation Agency, which is about supporting diversity and inclusion and innovation. And there's a whole series of recommendations in that report for national policy makers. What we really want to look at is how we in the West Midlands should respond to that, because we think that some of the challenges that they pose, some of the recommendations they make are things that we could address here. So we're going to have a discussion event around that on the 19th of the 11th, so look out for that. So that's the event. So because we do love to talk in the Innovation Alliance, we do love to network with people. But the second thing that we're doing, and this Ian and I have spent a lot of time thinking and talking about this with colleagues and our networks to get this right. And the idea here is very much about having a database or a listing. It's not a very deep database, but a database listing of people who can inspire, who we can use to showcase diversity and innovation across the West Midlands, to help them to engage with the West Midlands innovation ecosystem. So we're looking for it. So the last three speakers are all exactly the kinds of people that we're looking to feature on this database. People who are maybe not the usual suspects when it comes to having event speakers or panelists or mentors or case studies to showcase in, you know, blogs, reports at events or whatever. So our call to action that we leave you with really today is that we're looking for our partners, so people working with us across the Innovation Alliance, to suggest names of individuals who we could begin to populate this database. So we have an idea of what it's going to look like, and Ian, if you can just flick to the next slide, please. So it wouldn't have our logo quite so big at the top. Ian tried his best to crash our complete system on Friday, but didn't quite succeed, but nearly did. But so we've used the three people that we've been talking about today. So each person would have a little bit of information about themselves, what kind of role they're willing to play, whether they're willing to be a speaker, mentor, panelist, etc. And what topics they'd be willing to talk about. So that could be a technical topic, or it could be some of the more socioeconomic aspects and some of the more advisory topics that we've been talking about this afternoon. But we want this to be a resource which will be on our website. It will be accessible for everyone, anyone who's looking to maybe broaden their reach in terms of the speakers and mentors and so on that they use. So as I say, our call to action is, please can we work with our partner organisations to try and identify more of these brilliant people who we can all learn from and be inspired by going forward. So thank you very much, and I'll hand back to Ian to close off.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Pam. And I do really hope that everybody out there engages with that one as much as possible. So anyway, we are closing now, but I want to, again, one more time, bring down the house. Your own individual houses, that may be, but please do. So take yourselves off mute and give absolutely every single one of our next gen and new voice speakers the biggest round of applause ever. So go, go, go. Absolutely fantastic. Really, really fantastic. So thank you, everybody. We do hope you can join us tomorrow. You'll find the link for our panel session on the Birmingham Tech website, and that starts at 12:45. So other than that, have a good evening. Thank you very much. Cheerio.